All right. So one thing I feel like that happens when we become moms, we really start to become more aware of what we have in and around our homes and how that's affecting not only us, but our kids. Because, I mean, starting from pregnancy, you are told so many different things like, oh, you can't eat cheese, you can't have sushi, you can't like consume this or put this near you. And you're like, oh, huh, why all of a sudden can't I have these things? And one thing that I noticed too was I was having some like joint pain when I was pregnant, and I went to go grab that bottle of icy hot, and I was looking at the label and it was said, do not use if pregnant, consult a doctor. And I was like, huh, why is this? Like, why all of a sudden can I not put this on my body when I'm pregnant? And it obviously, like, what we're putting on our body is getting absorbed and affects the baby that we're developing. And I think that starts to make us realize that our skin is actually our largest organ on our body. So what we put on our skin is getting absorbed, and it is going to either be used, filtered out, or stored within our body. So it is really important what we're putting on us and on our kids, especially because their bodies are developing. What we do for them is going to affect them into the rest of their lives and even generations to come. Actually, I heard this statistic, and I guess it's something that you kind of realize you don't just think about, but especially when we have little girls, and we're pregnant with little girls, not only are we have that generation, the next generations inside of us, but they're actually carrying all of their eggs for the generation. So we actually are affecting our grandchildren when we are carrying babies inside of us or carrying little girls. So that is something that's just kind of like, ding, oh wow, we are really impacting not only us but our generations to come. So when I was pregnant with Tyrone, our first son, we were I ended up doing like a support, not a support group, but a new pregnant education class. And one thing they were saying, they're like, oh, here, try this lavender oil. It can help you relax during pregnancy. And I was like, heck, if there's anything that can help me during pregnancy, like for labor and delivery, I'm like, yes, I'm all for it. Like, let me have some. So I had asked my sister for some lavender oil because I was nearing the end of my pregnancy. And so she ended up getting me this whole kit of oils, and I didn't know I was getting it. And I then slowly started to dive in. And from that, realized that there's a lot of products and ingredients in our house that, with these baby coming, I realized that aren't so safe to be around. And what we're putting on our kids at that point from being a baby needed to be addressed, especially when they started to crawl around and open up the cabinet under the sink. And like, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not so safe for you to get into. And let's be honest, I do still put like a rubber band around it, but sometimes if I grab something and forget to wrap that rubber band or lock it back up, the kids still get into that. And at least now I'm realizing that, at least I know now that what they're going to be putting their hands on is not going to be toxic and fatal for them. So I'm going to dive right into some of the things that I had some realizations for, and some of the things that our government does and doesn't do for us, and what we can do to rectify that. So just throwing this out there, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to try to treat, cure, diagnose, but just sharing as a mom, and a mom that's passionate about this, that really wants to help other moms be the advocate for their own home. And so if a company told you, hey, what you're using is going to harm your children, maybe not right now, but a little bit down the line, would you still use it? No, probably not. I can probably pull 199 of those moms will say, no, I don't want to use something that's going to harm my children. We care about them. But here's the thing. There's so many products that we have been using that are actually doing more harm than good. And we are definitely not doing it on purpose. It's just sometimes this veil that's thrown over our eyes because we want to trust what we're buying on the shelf, and we want to think that we're doing the best for them. But I want to empower you and show you a little truth on some better options as we move forward. So the FDA is a little bit of tricky business. Um, on their website, it literally states that companies can withhold ingredients from you in order to maintain trade secrets. So we can't even trust the labels that are on our products. And the one biggest culprit of that is the word fragrance. So when companies put that word fragrance on their labels, the word fragrance for, like, say, the CVS brand is going to be different than the generic or like the name brand that's next to it, because they have some different ingredients, chemicals, constituents in there. And that's the thing. When they're putting in fragrance, it can be hundreds to thousands of different ingredients in that one word. It is literally packed with synthetic chemicals that are affecting our bodies, causing cancer, destroying our endocrine system, and causing issues with our hormones, asthma, allergies, all these different things that start to slowly affect our bodies. And I think we can probably all agree that our generation is seeing a lot more increase in asthma, allergies, eczema, different things that our body is trying to like throw up red flags and say, hey, there's something wrong here. Like we're having a reaction to this and we need to address it. And a lot of that's because of the products we're using, the things we're ingesting, and the effect that we're having on our gut, which is the origin of our immune health, our skin health, and just our overall health, and how that affects the rest of our body. So the other thing that's really alarming is here in the United States, our government only bans 13 chemicals that can't be used in our products that we buy off the shelf. In the European Union, they ban over 1,300. So why is it okay for us to use those harmful chemicals here, but it's not okay for them to use it over in Europe? Like that just blows my mind that our government doesn't like take in effect those same chemicals for us here. And they're going to be laden in the products that we find on the shelf. And I feel like before I kind of dived into wellness, I would think that the products that I'm going to the store to buy are going to be safe for us, or have gone through testing and are really like not harmful at the end of the day. But ultimately they don't have to be tested. Anyone can develop something and get it put onto a shelf, and it doesn't have to go through testing. And it's not until after the fact that they have seen issues, then that's when they get the recalls and alarms go up. I mean, there's some big name brands lately, between sunscreen, fragrance sprays, baby powder, that have had these issues that have come up and realized like, ooh, red flag, let's pull these off the shelf. So that's where we really need to trust where we're getting our products from and know the ingredients that are going into them. So some ingredients that we really need to be aware of are talc, parabens, triglycerins, dioxin, and formaldehyde. Formaldehyde in particular, one thing I just found out recently, when we get the No Tears baby shampoo, we think like, oh, it's going to be better for them because it's not going to get in their eyes and cause issues. The reason why it has a no tears is because it actually has formaldehyde that is numbing our tear ducts and causing us not to tear up, because the formaldehyde is causing those organs to stop functioning properly. So those are the type of things that it's like, oh shoot, no, that's not something I want for my kids. So as moms, we can stand up and do better. We can choose better products for our kids and to bring into our house. So my challenge to you is, if you can find one product that you've been using at your home, or go onto your shelf, look at like 3 different labels and ingredients and type them in, and see some of the ingredients that and what they're doing to our bodies. One way you can do that is actually EWG, which is Environmental Working Group. It's a decent website at this point. It used to be really good because it was not funded by corporate dollars. But we've been finding as years progress, a lot of those like Environmental Working Group and this app called Think Dirty has actually been bought out by some of those big name companies that are putting those products on the shelf, and they are kind of manipulating some of the data so that their products seem okay. But you can also just do a quick Google search and put in the EWG with it and see just some of a high level look of what is in those products and what you're going to get. So what can we do as the gatekeepers of our home? We can cut out the toxins and really like look and be careful of what the ingredients are in our products, and we can replace those products with plant-based ingredients and companies that we actually trust to be careful with the ingredients that they're putting in. And if your baby's not already mobile, which obviously we know Brady is, they can get under our cabinets, and ultimately, do we feel safe if they do get in there? Typically, household products are not very healthy for us and can be very harmful for our children. One thing we can replace that with, and I didn't bring right on me the big bottle, but one thing that we use is Thieves Household Cleaner, and that is a plant-based cleaner. Whoops. A plant-based cleaner. And this is kind of like a mini version that is like a to-go version that I keep in my fanny pack and on my bags at all time. But it is free from harmful toxic ingredients, and it's the only cleaner we use in our house. It literally can go on every surface, every room. We make it into like window spray. I spray down the high chairs with it, the tables, I clean the floors with it. I put it into our laundry as stain remover. I even use it like as carpet and stain remover for the couches. So it goes everywhere. And it's the only one. The bottle comes ultra concentrated, so you only need one capful to make a bottle of cleaner, and that dilutes down. So a whole bottle of cleaner only comes down to about under $1 for every bottle of cleaner you're making, which is amazing. But the other thing that I want to bring up is when we're looking for those safer alternatives on the shelves, and we're going into the store and we're saying like, oh, like this has been marketed as a better product, a safer product, we tend to have an issue with greenwashing. So they'll put on a label that has a nice green leaf or has some verbiage in it that makes you think it's safer for you, but ultimately it's unregulated, and they can put whatever they want on there to make you think that it's a better product. Even certain products like Mrs. Meyer's, where we think have been bought out by bigger corporations. So I can't for sure say they've changed the makeup of the ingredients inside of it, but it just goes to show that it's those big corporations that are controlling the dollars. And even something like Mrs. Meyer's has that word fragrance in there that is filled with chemicals that are still affecting us. And even ones that say unscented, they're just using chemicals to mask the other chemical scents. So that is something to be aware of. The lavender hand soap even specifically contains an ingredient that is rated 4 on the EWG. It shows that it causes allergic reaction, dermatitis, and immune toxicology. So not all those clean products are really good for us. And most of the time, like those ingredients under our cabinets, if anyone our kids get a hold of it, we're going to have to call poison control. But with Thieves Household Cleaner, just drink water. And to be honest, my son has put his mouth on the bottle or the cap of any of these products. So that is one major shift that I think is something that's needed in everyone's household, just so that they can remove some of those toxic ingredients and start making a better switch for their family. I want to jump into some mama toolkits that is great to have on hand and something that we all need. I'm going to jump right into the kids versions first, and then I want to expand it a little bit into what we can use not only for our family, but for us as moms and parents too. So the first thing first is we have a whole line of products that is specifically diluted for children. So ages 2 and up. For ages 2 and below, I just dilute a little bit further. But let's go through some of those things that come in that. So specifically, one thing I always keep in the diaper bag is our KidSense Owie oil. And the Owie oil is for boo-boos mentally and emotionally. And I think we're always putting Neosporin or some other type of like ointment, or sometimes they just need that emotional support. Our 3-year-old loves to get kisses where his boo-boos are. And sometimes he'll just ask for the oil because he knows that's going to not only help heal his body, but heal his emotional boo-boo as well. So the KidSense Owie is really great and amazing to help clear up any of those scrapes, cuts, boo-boos, even things that are like bug buds, things like that. We use them for. Another KidSense oil is the Sleep Eyes. I think sleep issues is always on the top of mind when it's coming for our kids. I know we have a 1 and a 3-year-old, and we still are up and down with what we're doing with sleep, but I love to put this into their diffuser, rub it on their feet at night, help them calm down. It has a combination of lavender and some other great ingredients like geranium, Roman chamomile, tangerine, frankincense to help calm them down and create a calm sense. Especially at night, it's great to diffuse right before they're going to bed. And speaking of diffusers, this kids kit blend comes with this super cute owl diffuser. This is what we keep in the kids' room, and it not only is a diffuser, which means it runs on water, so it's humidifying. It is a sound machine and a nightlight. So it's a trifecta and super, super cute. Some of the other items in that we have for the kids are KidSense Sniffly. So I know when they get congested, when they're starting to get anything that comes on, I literally pop a nice roller top right on, and I rub all over their chest, the back of their backs, to help with their breathing. So this is an amazing oil to have on us at all times. We also have a chest rub too, and we don't use the traditional Vaseline chest rubs just because it has that petroleum in there, which is one of those ingredients that I flagged. Another one is tummy jies. I was actually just talking with a grandma at the park today about this oil because her little daughter was being really backed up and having issues with digestion. Even from when we have newborns in the house, this is an oil we always have. We had a situation where obviously little ones don't have a fully developed tummy, but we put this oil on, and within minutes the gas was being released and processed through. So this is an amazing oil, and it has a combo of things like peppermint, anise, fennel, ginger, things that are known to be really good for our digestion. So we are going to rub that topically on them, and they can help to move things through. Honestly, our older son asks for this all the time, just to know that he can help push things out smoother. This oil here is Genius, and Genius is really good for focusing and like if they're starting to do schoolwork, or if you want to get them focused on an activity that you're doing, this is really good. Sometimes we even put it right on them topically as well. And so those are the 5 that are in the kids kit, but there's one other oil that I want to point out too that comes in the kids line, and this is Kid Power. This is an oil that smells really good. Kind of smells like Skittles, but it's really good for their emotional support. So things like courage and confidence, especially if they're leaving for daycare or starting school for the first time, they're in a situation that they're a little bit anxious for. This is a really good emotional support oil. So that is ones that are formulated specifically for kids. We also have an easy button when it comes to knowing what ingredients we're bringing into our house and knowing that we can trust those things that we're putting on the kids. We have everything from baby lotion, body wash, diaper rash cream, baby oil, toothpaste. So we do have a whole line for babies and kids specifically that makes it that easy button to know that you're not going to get any of those toxic ingredients, and definitely does not have any fragrance in it that is full of chemicals, because all of the fragrance infused in the products here are oils. So you're going to get lavender and different oils that are going to be calming to their senses and great to use at night right before they fall asleep. So when I got started, and that really kind of alarmed me to what we were putting in our house and helped me switch out some of those products in our environment, was this premium starter kit. And this one is actually really great because you can not only do all the things that the kids kit's doing with a lot of these oils, you can pair them together, but they're also going to be the strength for us as parents too. And this kit comes with this desert mist diffuser too. So it's one that can run up to 12 hours in your house, great for diffusing at night if you're having any sleep issues, or if you're not feeling well, anything like that. So I'm going to do a snippet of what some of these oils can do for us and why we like to have them in our house. So I just talked about Kid Power and how it's good for courage, emotions. Valor is basically the adult version of that. This one is super good for courage and confidence. This is actually one that I put on every morning as a perfume. I even put this on our baby before bed to help him like be calm and confident when he falls asleep at night. So that's really great. You're going to get your lavender oil, and lavender obviously is so good for sleep and just like calming. But one thing we don't realize, it's amazing for our skin. It is good when we have any boo-boo. So before I had any of the kids oils, I used to combine lavender and frankincense together to help and make a roller specifically for our boo-boos, and like a little spray. So this is an amazing oil to always have on hand. Speaking of frankincense, this is an oil that's really calming for the mind. It's also really good and gentle for our skin and good for immune support. So we put this in our skincare routine, obviously a boo-boo oil, but also great. I just made up some immune rollers, especially because there's constantly something going around these days, but I want to keep the kids healthy and strong. So we make a roller with frankincense, lemon, and thieves oil. Speaking of thieves, so thieves is the same base oils that you're going to find in the cleaners. So thieves is so good for immune support. That's why we put it in our immune rollers. For me and my husband, when we feel something coming on, we put it into tea. And I'm going to actually bring up that if you see that these white labels up top here are different than the ones down here, that's because these are labeled as vitality. That means they can be ingested. And The Young Living oils are specific to, or one of the only lines of oils that can be ingested because they are safe for our body. And when we buy oils at the store, we definitely have to be careful because they are they're filled with more carrier oil and potentially toxic ingredients. So you're going to get it's like kind of if you are making a pot of coffee or dipping a tea bag and you do it that first time, you're going to get that pure potency, all of the constituents. But then when you dip it like 20 times over, or you filter it out 20 times over, that's really what you're going to get when you're buying it from the store, which means that it's not the full strength. And in order to make it smell like it is, they're going to add more fillers and more chemicals to make it smell like it is. And so with Young Living oils, they're not just creating these so that they have a good smell to them. Obviously, they're going to have the benefit of the smell that they have, but they are going to be have therapeutic properties to them. So they're going to help different areas of our life. Obviously, something like thieves is going to help our immunity, or lavender is going to help with our sleep. They have specific immune property or constituents that are therapeutic. And the way Young Living not only farms and like grows the crops and distills them, they are going to make sure that they're at the optimal point, that they are going to have every benefit that they can possibly have. I'm actually really excited because next week, both my husband and I are going out to Utah, and we're going to be going to the lavender fields out in Utah for Young Living and to the convention. So I'm super excited to get my hands on some of those lavenders and see firsthand how they pick and distill these products. So when you're buying any type of oil in the store or online, you definitely have to be careful because, I mean, on the bottle, it says not to be ingested, not to use topically. I would even be very hesitant to use it topically. Where we get our oils matters, and what we put on our body matters. So Thieves is super good for that. Over here we have lemon. Lemon we also put into our immune support oil, but I also use this for cleaning, for greasy pans, for diffusing, for putting it into our tea and different like waters, just to have a good flavor and get the benefit of lemon. Citrus Fresh is a combo of different citrus oils with a hint of spearmint, so that's really good for stinky situations. We put drops on cotton balls in the bottom of the diaper pail, and in the bottoms of the trash cans, bottom of the shoes, all different things for Citrus Fresh. And peppermint is an amazing oil for digestion. So when we didn't have any of the kids' oils and we wanted to support digestion, we added peppermint and digize. So digize is the adult version of the tummy gize. So we put this on ourselves. We rub it topically. For me personally, I'll even drop it under my tongue. But peppermint and digize are good for support. For us mamas, when we have head tension, I love to rub it on my like hairline when I'm feeling like throbbing, and I'll even push it to the roof of my mouth to help with that. The way my husband loves peppermint is number one for his workout, because it helps to oxygenate and bring more oxygen into our blood throw. And peppermint brownies. If you ever come to my house and I'm having an event, most likely there's going to be peppermint brownies, and they are so good. So a few other things that I just want to point out. We have the Sniffles for the kids, but the adult version is Raven. This is another great respiratory support oil, so good to put in the diffuser. I like to make a shower steamer when we're trying to clear anyone up. We put some drops on a wet face cloth and kind of like hold it near our nose, and it is going to help clear things up. Panaway is a great oil. Oh, you can also make your own chest rub out of this instead of having like any type of synthetic products in a chest rub. Panaway is going to be something more of your muscle and joint support. So it has that menthol smell that you would get from some of those other products like that, but it's really good. I like to make a little roller out of it. So you can make, they sell like just generic rollers, and you have just a specific roller top on them, and you can combine any of these into a roller and top it with coconut oil or fractionated coconut oil, any type of carrier oil. So I like to do peppermint and Panaway for all of my muscle and joint issues. And that is super good and super healing to help me when I do that. So those are these top 10 that come, but there's also 2 secret oils that come underneath here. Dropped out on me. So those are peace and calming and stress away. And so peace and calming, I think both me and my children were having a little bit of a meltdown because it was getting time that we needed to have dinner and get the baby down for bed. So I went to my purse and got some peace and calming to rub on me, smell it, put it in the diffuser, and calm us all down. The name of it is a little bit self-explanatory because it is super good to help create an environment that's full of peace and calm. Stress away is the next one, and this is really good as a perfume. It reminds me of like a tropical vacation because it has hints of lime and vanilla in it. So sometimes I'll just use it as a nice little perfume, apply it topically, or throw it in the diffuser for a nice, again, calming environment. So that is what came in this premium starter bundle, which is a great tool to have for everyone in your house, not just the kids, but also all of the products can be made into a ratio that's safe for the kids. You're also going to get a small bottle like this of the Thieves Cleaner. You're going to get a sample of the hand sanitizer and beloved Ningxia. And if you've ever heard me talk about Ningxia, it is amazing. It's a immune support. It has natural energy. It helps eye health, digestion, so many different areas of life. And it is something we drink all the time. Even our 1 and 3-year-old drink it. We, especially when they're starting to be something that's coming like a runny nose or something started, we definitely like up their intake, and our 3-year-old knows. He'll go and get like 3 packets of it and say, hey, I need more Ningxia in my life. We say, okay, we know you're trying to support your immune system. So that is some of the great things that are a way to get started to get some of these products in your life. And I just love that there is an easy button when it comes to knowing that we have some safe products that we can put on our kids and ourselves to help navigate the tricky world we live in and what becomes on our shelf. So it's great to think about our kids, but also us as parents and how we can support ourselves to parent them in the best way we can. So if you haven't realized yet, Young Living has products that is a whole way of life to swap some of those ingredients. And I just love that they're transparent and can help in so many different areas, not just oils or not just our kids' product, but we have everything, even from makeup, personal care products, toothpaste, cleaning products, laundry soap, all these different things. So this starter kit actually has a value of over $400. And for that price, it is actually extremely worth it. But you get this whole kit for over 50% off. This kit is actually only $165 for the 12 oils and the diffuser. So that is an incredible value. And not only does it come with all the things that I showed you. But when you get this, you're not left on your own. I am here for support. I actually do lots of education. I do other calls, education throughout the month. We have Facebook groups and text messages that can help you navigate how to dive into these and when to use them. So it's always nice to know that you're not on your own when you get started with some of these things. The other great thing is when you get started with one of these kits, you are going to be unlocking 24% off. So you will get 24% off for any future oil orders. And if there's some things in here that you're like, I kind of wanted to pick and choose a little bit, that is an option for you. If your order's under 100 PV, and PV is generally equal to about $100. But the reason why they do that is because it's international. This company's all over the world. So $100 isn't the same as Canadian, Australian, Singapore, all these different places. So they use that PV equivalent. And when you hit that 100 PV mark, you are going to unlock that 24% discount, which can be huge. But I can guarantee once you start using these products and you get them in your home, you're definitely going to love them. And you can even make your money back if you share these products with friends. We have actually a great class tomorrow night on how to make your money back, maybe even make $100 or more every month. So if that's something you're interested, let's chat. The kids kit is $135. So if that is something that interests you, knowing that you have everything pre-diluted and ready to go for the kids, that is another option for you. So what I'm going to throw in, if anyone gets started by the end of this week and wants to put in their 100 PV order with one of the kits, then I'm also going to take care of your shipping for you. So let's get you started. Let's talk further and send me a message and let's get you going. I hope this is really helpful for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you for joining me.